वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Chapter 2, verse 72. Esha Brahmi Sthiti Partha. Esha Brahmi Sthiti Partha. Nainam prapya vimuhyate. Nainam prapya vimuhyate. Sthitva sya mantakalepi. Sthitva sya mantakalepi brahmanirvanamruchyate. Brahmanirvanamruchyate. O Parth, such is the state of God-realized soul. Having attained this state, he overcomes delusion. Being established in this state, even at the hour of death, he attains Brahmalok, bliss, identification with the absolute state. Right. Now we are discussing this Sthitwasya Mantakalepi towards the end. Coincidentally, the Bhagavad topic and Geeta's topic are going together. Antakale, right? We'll be starting that tomorrow for the Ajamil also. Antakale, towards the end. Anyway, so now a question arises: how a man who would not attain God throughout his life attains God at the time of death? How it is possible? So, in the commentary, Swami Ram Sukdas ji writes, when his body and intellect both grow weak, okay, how this is possible? Swamiji answers that the answer is that man's union with him is natural. Only he has to realize this fact, and this can be realized either by God's or saints' grace or by good influence of past actions. Okay, so two things. Let's take the last one first. Good influence of past actions. Okay. So that means if we practicing throughout the life, the good actions, yes, then there is a possibility. Definitely. And what it says, or the grace of saint. Okay. Yes. If we come in the, you can say, the closest proximity of saint or guru who have realized that, okay, but yes, the true guru, Okay, not the dollar guru. Okay, right. So if that affects, then definitely. Otherwise, God is not a purchasable commodity. Okay. Now here, what it says, स्थित्वा स्यामंत कालेपि काले अपि api means even, that during life, if he attains a state of godhood, Brahmi sthiti, he becomes as a liberated soul. Okay. But even at the time of death, if he becomes free from sense of mind and egoism, he attains him immediately without any sort of practice, meditation of trance, etc. Yeah. But that grace should be there. Okay. Or that influence of past good actions should be there. Otherwise, and in that context, if we put in practice, keep on chanting name, okay, anything, right, then it becomes habit or the nature. Okay. Do we have to remind ourselves that I have to bath? I have to take shower? No. It's a nature. It's a nature. So it should be as good as nature, that it just happens. We don't have to. Initially, we have to put habit. We have to practice. But then it becomes just a nature. Okay. By using this term Brahma Nirvana is oneness. Oneness means oneness with Supreme Reality. Bhagavan Krishna means to say that the striver, the seeker of the discipline of disinterested action means Karma Yogi. Those who follow the path of Karma Yogi. And not only action, they have put the adjective disinterested, means without any expectation, selfless work. Selfless. Okay. So that the striver of the discipline of disinterested action, Karma Yoga, attains the same Brahma, same Supreme Reality, as striver of discipline of knowledge, Gnana Yoga, Gnana Yogi. Okay. Bhagavan has mentioned this in the 5th chapter, verse 24 and 26. The same fact has been pointed out here in the 5th verse of the 5th chapter, when Bhagavan declares the supreme state which is attained by Sankhya Yogi. Sankhya, again, knowledge. Attained by Sankhya Yogi, the follower of the discipline of knowledge, is attained also by Karma Yogi, the follower of discipline of disinterested action. Basically, you, when I say you, we choose the path of Gnana Yoga or the Karma Yoga. Okay? One can attain that state. But there is a third, is the Bhakti Yoga, which is relatively easy for laymen like you and me, right? Karma, Gnan, it's a different state of mind in one's life, right? Okay. Man himself is sentient, but he accepts his affinity for the insentient. Therefore, instead of attaining salvation or God realization, he goes to ruin. You know, this God realization is the Vedantic word is Atma Sakshatkar. God realization, Atma Sakshatkar. We have discussed this so many times in our classes. Okay. The other day I was speaking to somebody that by keep on chanting the name Namasmaran all the time, okay, do one get some siddhi? Siddhi means it's achievement in such a manner that for a common man it's almost impossible, but by having this spiritual practice, for those it becomes easy. That's siddhi. If you see that Ashta Siddhi Navriddhi ke Datha Asabardin Janaki Madha, I'm talking of that siddhi, right? So the person was talking that do one achieve that siddhi? Siddhi, you can say it's a special grace, okay, by that. But siddhi again, it's the toffee, the chocolate on the path, okay. So you get lost with that siddhi or the toffee or the chocolate and you forget your goal. You got my point. So coming back to that point, somebody was asking me that siddhi. I said, no, first of all, Nam Smaran, chanting of Nam should not be for the siddhi. But yes, siddhi does come. The devotee will be granted, will be blessed with this kind of siddhi. But it's not for that, number one. And number two, even if that person, enlightened soul, has achieved that siddhi, he will never ever disclose it. Coming back to this point, God realization, Atma Sakshatkar. You don't have to disclose that. You don't have to disclose that. But nowadays, it becomes a fashion. My Guru has Atma Sakshatkar, God realization. And all the devotees will say, all the teacher, the disciple or the follower will say. It's not there to disclose. Okay. If you have a locker in your bank, in the locker, if you have jewelry, okay, where are you going to disclose? Handful of people. You're not going to put this on the Facebook. That today I was so lucky that I got a chance to open a locker in the Standard Bank. You will never do that. And you know, then when I went there, I totally forgot, man. I forgot to bring that another 3 necklace. Will you do that? You will never do that. Or else, oh man, I totally forget that I had a locker in the Standard Bank and I just did for something and I went there after 3 years and I was shocked. There is so many things in that locker. Will you do that? Never you will do that. Siddhi or the Atma Sakshatkar is that. I wouldn't put the adjective, but it's precious. If it's something different, something different. So, the attaining salvation or God realization, he goes to ruin. If you don't, right, what it says, man himself is sentient, but he accepts his affinity for the insentient. Therefore, instead of obtaining salvation or God realization, he goes to ruin. Ramaratana Dhanapayo. By using his discrimination, he aims to attain God, while out of delusion, he wants to have affinity to the material world, to the matter. My, mine, me and mine. Delusion is born of egoism and a sense of mine or sense of desires. To accept the body as I or mine is delusion of egoism. A sense of mine, while the wish to acquire or preserve something is the delusion born of desire. Arjun, like other worldly people, had delusion born of egoism and sense of mine as well as desire. Go to beginning in the first chapter. That's how the whole Gita started. Because on the battlefield, when Bhagavan Krishna parked the chariot between two armies, and when he saw that, oh man, that's my guru, that's in-laws, that's all my cousins, that's my great-grandfather, and so on, okay? So he got attached. In the sentence used in the first chapter, we who are righteous person clearly see the sin is an example of delusion born of egoism. These kinsmen will be destroyed. Arjuna was singing that. That's all my. And how can I kill them? It's not right. And then start. Siddhanti mamagatrani mukanja parishushadi. Vepathuscharire me roma harsasachayate. Oh man, I can't do that. Guru nahatva mahanubhava. So that this kinsman will be destroyed is that of delusion born of the sense of mine, my kaze. And we should not fight, otherwise we shall incur sin and go to hell. Is that born of desire? So sense of mind and desire, we think that. But Bhagavan preached him. Okay? And that's why the wise men always say that. That's from Shakespeare. To be or not to is a question for me, Hamlet. Okay. Hamlet does not have Bhagavan Krishna. Whereas Arjuna had Bhagavan Krishna in his life. So Bhagavan Krishna was there to guide him clearly. That's why let be Krishna with us in our life all the time to guide us. That's why the Bhagavad Gita. That's why the Gita class. Not the lecture on Gita. This is the class. Okay. At the lecture on Gita, they all talk about philosophy, Brahman, Parabrahman, Atman, Anatman. 1 hour lecture, organize my lecture. I'll be there. If it is when lecture is 8 o'clock, I'll be there. Just 5 to 8, okay? Do the necessary formalities, and I'll start probably 40-45 minutes. Once I am done, keep ready a glass of milk with the kesar, and then it's done. Gita stood there all the time to inspire me, to guide me. Because life is full of puzzle, life is full of challenges. Who is going to guide me? Where will we going to seek the guidance? Only and only Gita. Or the Guru who can guide us. But nowadays, it's very difficult to find Guru. That's why we start Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. There is a reason behind it. Why we chant before all the classes Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Let Krishna be the Guru in our life. Let Krishna be there to guide me in my life quest. It's going to happen. Life is not a path full of petals. There are the speed breaker and the cow. And then, when it happens, when it comes, if we have read Gita, if we have studied Gita, yes, we are human. So for a while, we will get shocked when something happens, or some challenges, or something unwanted. I wouldn't say unwanted, unexpected. But believe you me, if we study Gita, if we choose the path of Gita, then that shocking moment will be transient. For a while. Then we will be all right. Okay, now. Because it's all about Bhagwan's life, right? We are thinking that so many dukkha, so many challenges. Look at Bhagwan's Krishna's life. Bhagwan born in jail. Start from that. Okay. Within no time, he lost his parents. I mean, Vasudeva has to take Bhagwan to Gokul. That's been Bhagwan's real parent. He got separated. N number of allegations were there in his life. Forget about the Makhan Chori, like the Syamantak Manian and so many things. Such a great brave warrior, and yet the allegation came. Ranchod, he left the battle. So many things. So we need to learn from Bhagwan's life. We need to learn from Gita. Think that, not only think, believe that Arjun is a representative of all of us. Again, that very reason, towards the end, we recite, Nashto moha smritirlabdha tvat prasadan maya achyuta. 73rd verse of 18th chapter. It's said by Arjun. Arjun says. So, that moment can come in my life, in your life, in our life. Yes, can come. So, to remove this delusion, Bhagavan Krishna has talked about two kinds of discrimination. What are the two kinds? Discrimination between the real and the unreal. And discrimination between discharging one's duty or abandoning it. To perform my duty or to stay away. Real and unreal, and discharging duty or to keep oneself away by performing the duty. While discriminating between the body and the soul, Bhagavan Krishna explained that there was never a time when he or those kings were non-existent, nor they would cease to exist in future. It's a fact that these bodies did not exist. Okay, it says about the soul and the body. Body may not be there, but it was there. The soul was there. So it is a fact that these bodies did not exist before, nor will they exist in future. It's there for now. Okay. Granted 70 years, this body granted 70 years, 80 years, 85 years. It can be anything. Okay. Then the urgent call came, and before you say hello, it's gone. Before you say hello or namaste, it's gone. It's gone. So, nor will they exist in future, and in the interim also, they are changing. Yeah, in the present, the body is there, but it's a constant change. Let's put that, okay. Says as per government guideline, at the age of 18, you are entitled to vote. Okay? I'm just giving you an example. So, the government thought at the age of 18, person will be considered as an adult. So, at the age of 18, so does it happen overnight? No, it's a constant change. It's a constant change. And then at the age of 18, you say, okay, now you're adult. You are entitled to vote. But it doesn't happen overnight. It's a constant change. Similarly, it says here, in the interim also, they are changing every moment. As every born, one passes through babyhood, youth, and the old age. He also explained that as a man discarding worn out clothes takes new ones, likewise the embodied soul casting off worn out bodies enters into others which are new. So he should not grieve. So one should not grieve. Pamsamasi jiranani yatha vyaya navani gruhnati manusyaparam. It's out with. Okay. So enough. Throw it away. Get the new one.
It's 20 hours.
Similarly, happens with the soul. The body is, is the outfit. Got old. Or sometimes, even if it is not torn or too old, but sometimes we feel it's not alright, man. Now, let me get the new one. New Jersey. Now the winter, okay? If there is something special in the Black Friday appearing soon. So, for the soul, okay, now it's soul or not happy with this body. Enter the new body. So, one should not grieve. That Bhagwan's advice. While explaining discrimination between discharging one's duty and abandoning it, Bhagwan said, there is nothing more welcome for a man of the warrior class than a righteous war, which is an open gateway to heaven. Because that moment in Arjun's mind, that was not the dilemma in Arjun's mind that dharma or adharma, I should fight from the side of dharma or I should fight from the side of adharma. That was not the dilemma. Technically, the dilemma was between two dharma. At one is the respected all that Guru and grandfather and them. Other hand, I am from the warrior class. It's my duty to fight for the righteousness. And that's why Bhagwan says here that there is nothing more welcome for a man of the warrior class than a righteous war, which is an open gateway to heaven. You know, I always tell that as per our scripture and our history, we used to appoint in the ministry war minister, not the defense minister. Not the defense minister, war minister, war minister. So, if you do not wage it, you will incur sin. But if you fight treating pleasure and pain, gain and loss, victory and defeat alike, you will not incur sin. Your right is to perform your duty, but never to its fruits. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phalesu kadachana, 47th verse in the same chapter 2. Let not the fruit of action be your object, nor let your attachment be to inaction. Therefore, perform your duty being fixed in yoga. Because equanimity consists in remaining even-minded. Okay? Not uneven, not wavering-minded. Even-minded in success and failure. A man who endowed with equanimity performs his duty, becomes free from virtue and vices in his lifetime. When your intellect transcends the mind mire of delusion and the confusion by hearing conflicting statements, it becomes poised and firmly fixed in meditation on God. You will attain union with God. Right? What it said? And the confusion by hearing conflicting statements. We always hear that in our day-to-day life. All the conflicting statements. That some wise men will come. When I say wise men, so-called, alleged. Oh, you are attending Geeta class. How long you are doing that? Maybe 20 years. Is there any change in yours? Instead, go to the Garib, put them down. I am rich. Go to some houses, collect some money, buy the blanket, put your name, got the money from somewhere else, put your name, take the photograph. You know, I'm doing for the Garib. Instead you do that. Conflicting statement. We hear all the time. All the time. All the time. Even in mandir, you feeding people. Some of them, they don't deserve. They're the wealthy people. Go to the old age home, orphanage. Why are you spending money here? Conflicting statement. They are free to make the statement. No. It's a prasad. When it comes, it's a prasad. And somebody is misusing, that's his problem or her problem. Somebody is taking disadvantage, is his problem or her problem. But in the mandir, it's a prasad. So you will see that this kind of statement. But fix your mind in the lotus feet of God. The striver, devoid of the sense of mind and egoism, gets dissociated from the material world, called as asat division, and realizes his natural honor evidence in Brahma. So, basically, it takes you towards Sat. If you realize, oh man, I was practicing wrong. I was got attached with this me and mine. Only me and mine. Forget about everything. No. Evidence in Brahma, the supreme reality, that is Sat division. This evidence, ABIDANC evidence, okay, is known as Brahmi Sthiti, the state of mind of that. Having attained this state, no honor of this body remains. In other words, there is none who assumes this body as I. Basically, the whole idea, it emphasizes to know thyself. Who am I? All the time the question, is this body is me? No. No. Then who am I? What's my purpose? What's my do's and don'ts in this life and in this world? Do I remember that? What I supposed to do here? Only drink and be merry? Enjoy the life? No, there is something else. If this is a good creation, beautiful creation, that somebody must have created it. Then who created it? I need to seek for the creator behind this creation. So, basically, it emphasizes, know thyself, who am I, and what's my duty. Not only have my social or family duty, that of course I have to do that. If I am a father, I have to perform that duty. My brother, I have to perform that duty. That's fine. But besides that, otherwise, then there is no difference between animal and human life. They also have some sort of their duties. The many years back, the survey or the research was done. We know that ant, kitty, ant, okay? You see that, okay? And the research was done that if among thousands of ants, okay, they found that some of the ant cannot go for the food. Okay, right. The rest of the ants will take over and get a little extra and make sure it goes to that ant who cannot. That's, I mean, what I mean to say, if we are doing this is fine. There's nothing new we are doing. That's even animal life also is done. There must be something extra that only I can think. The animal life, they cannot think, who am I? What's my duty? What are my do's and don'ts? I can think. And I can achieve that Brahmasthiti which Bhagavan says here. Which is called Brahmasthiti or supreme reality. That, or it can say the eternal union. Eternal union. So that we must not forget. That's, such a good verse, okay. I was thinking that we should be able to complete that, but it's not completing today. We will see more, try to understand more about this verse in today's discussion. Whatever you like, whatever you enjoyed, credit goes to the scriptures, all the great men, all the saints. Whatever I have studied, I have read, I have understood, I have heard, I just try to share with you. Absolutely nothing belongs to me. Chapter 18, verse 73. Nashto moha smrutirlabdha tat prasadan mayachyuta sthitosme gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava.